National newspapers with Florence Villeminot. Hello there.
Hi, Catherine.
And we're going to be starting off with something that's very much an economic story as well as a political one. Competing visions of the Scottish and British governments for the future of North Sea oil and gas. And we've got to say that this comes in the context of a Scottish referendum on independence.
Absolutely. And so I'm going to take a look at both sides of the issue. Let's start with The Guardian, that talks about the clash of the cabinets and oil on troubled water. Now, both the Scottish and the UK governments met separately in the Aberdeen area on the same day to show just how different their views are about what they think the future of North Sea oil and gas should be. Now, there's a lot of money at stake, according to The Guardian. It points out that 200 billion pounds worth of oil could be extracted over the coming 20 years. Now, Scotland says the oil is theirs. The UK says it'd be better if it took care of things. Now, in the Scotland Herald, they talk about how the debate about the future of Scotland and whether or not it should become independent is really heating up. And it should not come as a surprise that oil has provoked this conflagration. It's pretty critical, though, of the First Minister, Alex Salmond's provocative remarks. He said that he was among thieves. According to this article, light, not heat, is needed in the debate. But this article points out that these controversial comments are also drawing attention to the debate about the future of Scotland, and that's a very good thing.
Okay, economic concerns very much becoming at the heart of this debate, aren't they? There's also the issue of currency as well. I'm sure this story is going to continue to dominate the headlines. We'll move on now, though, to another international story. The situation in Ukraine, of course, getting a lot of attention.
That's right. It's really the main story in the international press today. I pulled out a cartoon in China Daily, which sums up the situation quite well, how a lot of the international press is reacting to this. You can see Ukraine there at a crossroads between the EU and Russia, and just crashed right into that pole there. Now, it's on the front page of a lot of papers. The Wall Street Journal, for instance, talks about how the EU and the US are scrambling to find aid for Kiev. Billions of dollars are needed to fend off an economic collapse in the aftermath of the political crisis. Now, the New York Times is also focusing on this in their editorial. It's talking about Ukraine's uncertain future. Though the bloodshed has stopped, it's far too early to celebrate and to claim that the West has won or that Russia has lost. And the New York Times rather really focuses on how tricky the situation is, because Ukraine really does share a lot of its history and industry with Russia, and so the West really needs to include Russia in any transition.
It's interesting that they're putting it as the West winning or Russia winning. You might think about it as being Ukraine winning, yeah. Perhaps. Well, moving on to another aspect, the Russian side of things. The Moscow Times, very interesting points of view, of course, from Moscow.
That's right. Now, this is talking about what all this means for Vladimir Putin's dream of a Eurasian Union. Now, this is something that he wanted, a vast trade and political bloc to rival China, the EU, and the US. Now, this article in the Moscow Times shows that what's happening in Ukraine is proof that this idea, this Eurasian Union, is actually stillborn. And this article hopes that Putin will realize that Russia actually needs the EU.
Okay, let's look back into Ukraine, where we think President Yanukovych, or ex-President Yanukovych, is, but nobody seems to know.
That's right. Just where is he? That's on the front page of The Independent today. There's a photo that was taken at Independence Square asking information. Have you seen this man? Now, The Guardian actually goes to the region where he's rumored to be, which is Crimea, and takes a look at how this area feels very close to Russia, and there's speculation that perhaps there could be a move to become part of the Russian Federation.
Okay, and finally, just got a little bit of time for a quiz in the French version of Slate.
That's right. Now, why are we talking about this? Well, it's because President Yanukovych is actually featured in this little quiz because when the opposition discovered his residence, they discovered all sorts of things like a golf course, a marina, a zoo. And so let's play a game called Bling Bling Presidential, the Presidential Bling Bling. They've taken photos from inside different residences. You can take a look on the computer here, and you can guess, for instance, whose swimming pool does this belong to?
I'm going to pass this over to Stephen Carroll.
Let's say Tajikistan. Oh no, we've got a choice.
Yeah, you have a choice.
Oh, Saddam Hussein.
Saddam Hussein, you are correct, actually. And there are all sorts of different photos here.
Gosh.
For instance, Catherine, this one's for you. Let's see if I can scroll back up here.
Aerial view.
Yeah, this is an aerial view.
Oh, of somebody's residence. I think that's Yanukovych.
That is Yanukovych. You guys are really good.
I really
We've
want to
already
see
done
more pictures
this
of that
quiz.
zoo.
But my favorite one is this one, this wonderful mermaid seat here.
I know that one. That's Muammar Gaddafi's daughter.
Absolutely.
And actually, the face is modelled on her own face.
Oh, wow.
A little
That's
tidbit
great
for
little
you.
tidbit. I didn't know. Great.
Thank you for the quiz, Florence Filomeno, Stephen Carroll with the business news, and we're going to round up this half hour of Live from Paris right now. But after the break, we'll have our special focus report from the former Taliban stronghold of Swat Valley in Pakistan. We're going to meet some of the women who are behind a new way of doling out justice. Do stay with us for that.